waking up, calling in right before I leave for school again. From Jacksonville to WLS, predicting NFL results so bold. Can't believe he's 12 years old. It's time again for Primetime. We call him Primetime. PTC is Primetime. David Klaus.
That's the work of John DeCosta. Will be back in tomorrow.
Radio experts. Radio experts. Radio experts.
Well, football season means Primetime Klaus is back.
And we need David in this new season.
We got a lot of new listeners. You want to introduce David?
David Klaus is the junior NFL analyst, and we are lucky enough to have him right here on the Big 89. And he knows all the things, all the X's and O's when it comes to football.
All right, let's bring him in right now. Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm great.
Been having a good summer?
Yeah, pretty good summer.
All right, let's.
A lot of traveling.
What have you been doing, David?
Yeah, where have you been traveling?
I went up to New York for some golf, and then I went down south for some fishing.
Nice.
There
Look
you
at
go.
you, man.
Two of the guys on the show, one's name is Steve, one's name is Nick. One loves fishing and one loves golfing.
Yeah.
So you just made two new friends.
David, we should have been with you. That would have been fun.
Yeah?
Did you take your bike?
No.
No. Travel with your family? Okay. Just so people know who you are, David, let's go through a couple of things. What grade will you be in this fall?
7th.
7th grade, and that makes you how old?
Well, I'm 12 right now, but I'll be 13 soon.
When's your birthday?
December.
Yeah, so like 12 and a half.
Yeah.
What did I get you last year? Didn't I get you a present last year?
Yeah, it was a Josh Allen jersey.
Oh,
Thank you so
sweet.
much for that.
The reason, no, you're welcome, buddy. You said thank you, but I'm just trying to figure out how I have to up my game this year.
I know. I think about that too. We got to get David something like we got to have. He signs a contract. We get him a jersey. Like, what is that?
I was
know.
going to get him a fishing trip or a golf trip, but seems like somebody already did that. David, you thought about putting up a registry? Be easier for me. And so far this summer, what's the most fun thing you've done outside of the 2 trips you described? What have you been doing?
I did some football training. That was pretty fun.
Good.
And I did a little animation camp.
Oh,
Animation camp. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Do you have the ability to sketch and draw and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm not the best, but I'm getting there.
And is it freehand or is it computer stuff?
It's mostly computer stuff.
Okay.
you know, though I've seen David can draw. He's really good at drawing gym shoes. I would think he could be a gym shoe designer.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
And last question, obviously, did you end up getting married this summer or not?
No.
No, thinking
Not
about
yet.
it later. Okay, good. Well, yeah, keep your
I
options
mean,
open.
7th grade. There's a lot of opportunity
Yeah,
happening
you
there.
gotta keep your options open. All right, first question, Jane.
David, I'm excited about the NFL season. However, I'm not super excited about preseason football. I know there's only a couple of games. We are all forced to watch them. Is there like any, I know it doesn't matter. It matters, it doesn't matter. It matters for some players vying for jobs, but does it matter for us? What are your thoughts on this preseason?
I think it's a nice preview into the year, how it might play out. And I think for the coaches, you get to see some plays, and they get to run them against other teams. So instead of running them against your own team, who might have seen it 12, 13 times, you run it against a completely new team, see how that fares.
Yeah, and as each game goes by, it gets a little more important. You start to see some of the A-line first-string starters or the people they think are going to be starters. So in our case with Justin Fields, when do we see him as quarterback? Because you have one less preseason game again.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see how he does. This year is going to be, I feel like, the breaking point for him. If he does well, if he gets a lot of good games in, if he does well during the preseason,
Sure.
they'll keep him. But I'm saying if I'm the GM and he doesn't do well this year, I'm getting him off Chicago.
Yeah. They gotta do it. Listen, David is a nice guy, but it's just business, Jane.
It's just, I mean,
It's just business. I know you're his aunt, and you want him to be nice. He is a nice guy.
put him in the big office. He knows what business is.
He's got to make the right decisions for the team. I will tell you this, David. Yesterday, I was at a big golf outing I do every year, and there was a major business dude there. You know him because you're a part of the major business world. And
goes to the meetings.
he just cut a deal with Justin Fields to do something with his company. And he said Justin Fields could not have been nicer, could not have been more appreciative and more respectful. And
That's nice to hear.
And just a really genuine, good young man like yourself, David. So I was happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too that plays into, if you're a good guy and you have this skill, it's part of it. You have to have the manners. David, I have to ask you this though, because you're talking about Justin Fields and we're talking about the Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence and Aaron Rodgers now with the Jets. A lot of these quarterbacks don't play in any of the preseason games. What's his name? Aaron Rodgers hasn't taken a snap since 2018. Do you think that any of them will play?
He played last year, but Aaron Rodgers, I know where you're going with
Take
this.
a snap.
Aaron Rodgers and all the quarterbacks who you will see as starters barely are on the field in preseason. So, and these guys are all on different, you get a lot of guys switching teams.
Yeah.
How do you know what you're in for? Are the Jets going to be any good? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be any good?
I think that depends on how good their division is. With a new division, there comes new opponents, and I feel like how he responds to new opponents, if he can get by them, and if he can really gel with his new team and his new coach, that'll determine how good the Jets are. But I think they do decent, and I think this could be their shot at the playoffs.
You use gel in your hair, David? You mentioned gel there. I was just curious if you use product.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, okay.
David, so a lot of rookies they're trying, and you're really good with the college football, so you would know some of the rookies that were drafted, trying to get spots on these teams. Are there any rookies that you remember that you know about from watching college football that are now into the NFL and any positions they're vying for? Who should we watch out for? Like, I'm thinking fantasy football.
Yeah. Jalen Carter for the Eagles, defensive lineman. He came out of Georgia. I think he's going to have to battle a bit with the older defensive linemen for some starts. But once he gets going, he could have a pretty successful career. And Anthony Richardson for the Colts. Now, he's going to have to fight with Gardner Minshew for the QB job. I think in a couple of years he may be good, but this year they might put him in, take him out, put him in, take him out. It's going to be really testy with that.
In and out, up and down, and one more?
Yeah. And then Jordan Battle, he's a safety. He came out of Alabama. He is a rookie. He's going for Cincinnati. There are two other safeties, and they're all fighting for the safety job right there. But he is going to be, I think, he'll be a great starting safety for the Bengals.
I give Nick the last question here for our friend David Klaus, Primetime Klaus.
Well, I would just ask, and I heard, or at least read, I think yesterday in the Trib, that the Bears are going to play fields maybe a little bit here in the Titans, right? Mm-hmm. So do we think, what would your prediction be? Titans 28, Bears 7?
Nick doesn't have a lot of faith in the Bears.
No, I don't.
And by the way, the Bears have earned that.
I think the Bears are going to win this one.
Wow.
Titans, they're not coordinated the last few years. They fell apart at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's how the Jaguars slipped into the playoffs last year, honestly. So
That's true.
think even their backups, I think the Bears are going to beat them.
And what do you think? And what do you think? You mentioned Gardner Minshew. A lot of you guys may not know the Colts quarterback, but what do you think of Gardner Minshew's '70s mustache? You like that look?
Very iconic.
You're a rock star, dude. You really are. David Klaus, thank you, buddy. I'm glad you're back. We will talk to you on Thursdays during the season.
It's great to be back.
Yeah,
I love it here.
Well, appreciate it. And when do you go back to school?
Next Monday.
Sorry, pal.
Enjoy the last week.
Hey, take a bonus week off. Tell your parents I said it was okay.
No, he's got to go to 7th grade.
Oh, he's got to go 7th grade. Okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Hold on for all the prizes we don't give you.